Hey, we're live. Welcome, everybody. This is TFC Live, Season 3, Episode 38. And yeah, we're on to another bounty. This one's Bounty 14 and the PvP Refactor update. I'll just say hello to all the crew. Hi, Robin. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Ren's in. Hello, bud.
Hey, how are you?
And Daniel's in at work and trying to be quiet, but he's here. Can you
All
say
good.
hi?
It's all
He's in.
good.
Yeah, cool. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Excellent. Not a huge amount of slides today, but some complex stuff to go through and that sort of stuff. So I think what we'll do is we'll go straight in and start the slide pack. And then if we have to pause and talk about certain things, then we will. Right. I'll lock on myself quickly. And there we go. That's obviously our point of reference. Today's updates. So there's the content, as you can see, and I put down the bottom as I did last week. Obviously, the look forward stuff as well. So there's the next sort of 3 days, which will finish off this week quite nicely. So your second one of the FMs obviously starts tomorrow. So that's its reset today and then starts again tomorrow. So that'll get your second lot of tokens, obviously, to get your skirmishes built. And then obviously we go straight in, obviously, on Thursday, 10 a.m., obviously PDT time for Bounty Season 14, which we'll talk about, expand on in a moment. And then obviously it skips a little bit, so we've got actually our next BP live on Friday the 21st. Okay, so that will then, I think Ron Thinker will probably expand considerably on his refactor update and that sort of stuff, and he says he's going to take some questions. I'm looking forward to that. Anybody want to comment on those things? We're quite happy to move on. Well, let's move on then. Good. Right. No, it's not a mistake. The ship's upside down because I think Bounty's sinking. That's my feeling personally. Or then, unless they do something particularly important, then I think Bounty is going to be a bum for the next 2 at least, if maybe not 3, probably to the end of the year. Anyway, this one starts obviously, as we said, on Thursday the 20th. Okay, goes right through to Monday the 24th. Timings haven't changed, and in general, it's almost about the same sort of stuff, to be honest. Should be no flat values, although we've not had the brief, but they did say quickly that there's no real changes till last time. So no flat values for bases, minimum hit cap, obviously 80 on some real bases, but not on the replica bases. And apart from the store itself, generically the whole same thing. So I basically said the aim of this one is obviously where big players go and smash smallish players and to steal a bounty on PvP tech that basically isn't working very well. Sounds about right. Yeah, just from recaps then quickly. As far as I'm concerned,
sorry, you forgot the millions and millions of hours of grinding map targets.
Oh yeah, and then millions. Well, it's a PvE event, isn't it? Basically, you're just peeping. You know, a couple of people have made some decent Witch Doctor builds lately in the last week because that new plate's out. But if you haven't worked that out, then you're still going to suffer massively. So, and it's only got about a couple of turrets. So there we go. Yeah. So the 800 bounty still obviously can be claimed every 6 hours, and the normal sort of stuff. They did drop down last month as well, and I suppose it's going to be the same this time because it used to be 5 daily charges, then 4, then sort of like going down, and now it's 4, 3, 3, 2. So that was changed last bounty in bounty 13. So there should be no change. The 10k lock, obviously auto lock, is still the same. We'll see how we get on. Replica bases, like I said, shouldn't be any guards because they said it's going to be the same again. And obviously bear in mind that your dock auto repairs. So if you get snagged and obviously you don't notice it or don't fix in time, 4 hours later they'll come back and they'll take another stack of your bounty as well. So bear that in mind. Nexus, no change. But spawn times obviously is there. Thursday 20th, obviously 10 a.m. right through till Friday, obviously at 3 p.m. And that's the first lock time. And the second lock time goes from obviously 5 p.m. on the Friday 21st right through to the end of the event. And you have obviously until the end of the claim period for bounty prizes to sort that second set out. So not that it really affects me, to be honest, because I never go and look at Nexuses anymore anyway. Bounty prizes, we're guessing, okay, that it is obviously the Siren Defender Hull, probably the countermeasure there, as you say, the Cathode one, and this elusive CIC tac mod. So it's a pure guess because obviously the prize list isn't out yet, but they said they were coming in a later event, and this is what's left. So that should be it. Right. Oh, there we go. Right. Anybody want to add anything on bounty? Ren, happy?
Never.
Okay. Daniel, anything extra? I want to try and catch Daniel out lots.
I
Not
just want
particularly.
to add this time. Despite all its flaws, and the fact that if you try to take bounty seriously and get the top prizes, it has been an unbearable grind, and that's why I haven't gotten the top prizes in the past few months. Have better stuff to do. It's summer, I got a life, right? But for everyone, it's still, I think, the only event in Battle Pirates where you get something for nothing. You show up a few times a day, you can score 3,200 points. You can bank those 3,200 points. Yeah, your base will get hit, you get flat a few times probably, but if your base is half decent, unlikely. And in the end, after I think 4 days, you have 12K, 13K points. If you're in an alliance that can hold an Axis, you get even more, but I mean at least 13K points, so you can get something for nothing, just showing up.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sick of it. I wasn't interested in getting the last hull as well. Another defender. All the defenders so far are complete junk. Do they fix them in Refactor? I don't know. I suppose you need to get them to double check, but people that have lost interest are going to need to have a double go at getting them afterwards, sort of stuff. Because at the moment, even all of them are just weak. They either just get driven by, or they just flipping spew out stuff that does nothing. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with anything PvP at the moment, and especially defending your base, which is the thing I like to do the most.
Yeah, I grounded out last time and got all the stuff, but I'm not very taken with it either.
It's annoying. Anyway, right, there we go. So yeah, that's Bounty 14. Like I said, I just whizzed through that because nothing's changed, to be honest. There's a few prizes, but they're late getting out the information. So my guess is that.
And we'll talk about Wrong Thinker's post in a few minutes, but
yeah,
based on what he said for the PvP refactor, this bounty is like that, and the next bounty will still be like this.
Yeah, he said at least the next two, didn't he? Yeah.
Well, next two meaning this one and another one, right? That's if it takes the whole 8 weeks or more, then maybe a third one.
That sees us through to the end of the year, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So much for an OP upgrade coming into the year. Oh well. Anyway, right. Okay, we are where we are. Let's look at some other stuff then. So Turrets of Terror is back, okay, and this is nothing new. Like I said, I started this last week, basically. So in the top right-hand corner, I'm sort of giving you an indication of the style of, fleet, because some people get a little bit sort of like, well, what's this one? What's that one? So if you don't get a chance to recap on some videos and that sort of stuff, then at least you can look at the slide and go, oh yeah, it's Garrison. What have I got that's Garrison? So this one should be designed ideally for icebreakers. Obviously, you can use better things than that as well. But sometimes you get caught out if you aren't careful. So, some TLCs are great for Skyfires, not so good for Manticores. So anyway, the only thing that's really worthwhile, obviously, is a couple of specials in here. The turrets are rubbish, to be honest. We've gone past those turrets. Glacial, it's just the build time is horrid. But there are a couple of 1 day sort of structure build tokens. You can't stack them all, unfortunately, but they are.
Yeah, that's something that's tripping some people up. You need to make sure that you've used what you have, or leave them in your chests before you start running through this, because you'll lose them.
But I mean, if you can go and get base parts easy, then to be honest, you may just pass them by if you've got everything. I don't see anything that's worthwhile having it struggling through here. If you've done it once, you've done it, and by the time you've gone through this campaign, you could have gone and get your base parts for the 2 day build tokens. So
yeah, but it's it's fun to auto with dragons. So
okay. Oh dear, you're right. It can be ordered with dragons. Right, Double Trouble. So this one's obviously the TLC. That's the co-op one. They suggest using 2. Obviously, you use an icebreaker fleet, and somebody else uses an icebreaker or dragons, or you just sit in the corner because it's your campaign and someone else does it for you, basically. But the thing is, it's nice because obviously price pack 1, you get the Manticore and the Savage CIC, and obviously then you get the Warring Barrel system, not that I use it personally, and you get the Scattergun as well in price pack 3, and you get a host of EXP and all that sort of stuff, which is quite decent. If you haven't ever dabbled in this area here, bear in mind obviously some of the map targets will soon change and that sort of stuff, so you probably will need this fleet. probably not for the lowest level. You'll probably still be able to use the previous ones, but you'll need a half decent fleet to go to the top end sort of stuff. And I'm sure, as ever, as they always do, TLCs in the future will require, oh yeah, to do this one, you're going to need manticores, you know. So just bear that in mind. I wouldn't stop building anything skirmish to start building this fleet, but if you're in between ship builds and you happen to have the right number of build tokens, bear in mind you have to be careful. You can't stack too many. At least you can like go, right, I can get through the next ship or most of the next ship sort of stuff. So that's that one there. Co-op, it's a nice one to get people, particularly even if they're not in your own alliance or your own sector. Now we've got World Comms chat. You can actually go and help somebody out, and it's not exactly a hard one, like you said, Robin. If you've got dragons, it's pretty freaking easy to be honest. And even I know a lot of people were using sort of like, you know, the old mortar chuckers and a couple of zealots and that sort of stuff. So it's not impossible to do. Which leads us on to, as ever, the Scorpion Sting TLC, and as ever, I put in the middle, you know, watch your stacking of these tokens, because if you aren't careful, you will flipping well overstack, and then you'll waste your time doing this one. If you've done it once already, all you're getting basically is tokens and a bit more VXP. Is it 7 of 7 you can get? Is that the max stack? Can't remember what it is.
It's 10 for manticores.
Is it 10 for the mantis? Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So have a look before you start it, and make sure you're just not doing it for the sake of just killing time. Which no one
I
does.
saw some people on the page asking why is Kixeye running a Manticore TLC when the next raid is skirmish and whatnot. I just wanted to make a comment here. I fully expect the TLC to be released, I don't know, next week, for people to have another chance at getting the Bat Ray or the Razor Tail, to be an Assault TLC with the targets from last raid where the Manticores will perform best. So people who have a half-assed, half-built Manticore fleet at this point should definitely do these TLCs, get the tokens, finish the fleet. And if you only have 4 and you didn't have the flagship, build a 5th. You know, because you're going to need that to get the skirmish technology to do well for the next 3 months. You know, just saying.
Yeah, especially if you can speed them up a little bit.
Titanium as well.
Yeah, there were people that got like, you know, the hull and didn't have time or couldn't get the rest of it. And so these TLCs, I mean, obviously, you know, some people may not be trying to get the other hull, but these TLCs will allow you hopefully to fill in the blanks for the other pieces that you're missing. And so if someone was prepping for you, you know, to get the hull or to do those types of things, you're going to need to have that fleet for that TLC.
Yeah.
No, good point.
And even people who already have a ship, I mean, let's say you already got the Bat Ray last raid, you know, but maybe somebody helped you get there because you didn't have the full fleet. Get the full fleet, because then you can do the TLC, and I bet there's going to be some build or VXP tokens in the TLC that will help you be better prepared for next raid. So finish the freaking Manticores.
Yeah, it's as I said, you know, if you get that pause window between, you know, one ship and the next ship, whether you're doing Bat Ray or whether you're doing Razors, then just literally go, right, I've got 6 days worth, put 6 days more on your Manticores, and then, you know, crack on back on with your other stuff. You are definitely going to need this fleet, I can see, come the spring, no matter what, but I think you're going to need it for the TLC as well. Yeah,
and this is why, you know, we harp on not doing, you know, 9-day builds. Do them in small chunks of like 2 days or 3 days, so that if you do need to do something like this and slip it in between, then you're not stuck where you can't get the build finished.
Yeah, Apex is there. Look, I missed the VXP. I want Bat Ray VXP tokens. Yeah, I'm hoping the TLC, as Ren said, they will come with a series of, you know, VXP tokens. It'd be nice if it did, to be honest. But yeah, hit salvages a lot. Yeah, so, you know, not the end of the world. It's out there, but just watch the stack. Okay. But this does give you the allowance then to have both fleets, you know, or the tech to do both fleets. Only at the base level, you know, so you're not going to get obviously the cheater scattergun and that sort of stuff. And, you know, I keep forgetting what the other missile's called, but you know, you can at least get the base level fleets out there. So if you want to carry on building the second fleet, you may have already finished the first and you're heading towards the second. So there are more build tokens. So I've no idea. What's that cock? What the heck is that, mate?
Is that a toucan?
It looks like a toucan gone wrong.
Look like a brown toucan. Probably doing that for me.
By savages in the Amazon forest, and I use it to open letters.
Oh,
So
I see. Cougar. Thanks, Heavy. Yeah, the Cougar missile. That was it. Yeah, I've never built missile Manti, so I never got to even remind myself of what that one is called.
Cougar missile? Is
That's
that
what
a
he's
thing?
got. Cougar. What is it? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Stinger.
Heavy, you wanted me up or what? Anyway, right.
I think he's messing up with you. Yeah, Predator. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Jeff's saying Pred as well. So there we go. It is what it is.
Stinger, the original one, Stinger. I don't know what the limited one.
Stinger's on the
was called, but I
BP
think it's
on the slide there, so that's fine. But
Cougar, it's actually something else you can pick up at certain bars.
I didn't want to say anything. Moving on.
You're blushing, TSM.
Never.
You're guilty.
You've never
Or be
seen
picked up by.
Can't imagine why. Right, the new one. This is good. I like this one. I've had a chat to Robin about this before we started. So base race. Okay, so this is new. This is the idea to try and get those people that are around the sort of level 45, probably to probably 55 at a push, really, to be honest, if you're starting at the base level, because first prize pack gets you, bear in mind, Garrison is what you need again, and it's indicating that it should be obviously icebreakers, but I'm guessing probably then they're probably Zealouses with a couple of, Mort Chuckers will probably do the same thing. But, it's Ren's in one of those sort of moods. It's, gets you the first prize pack, automatically boosts your outpost, up to level 7, gets your weapons lab, to, that sort of stuff. And, that list is quite decent. So you can jump from level 7 outpost right the way up to level 9 and then start working on level 10. Prize pack 4 obviously gets you straight through to your shipyard levels, go up and that sort of stuff. And it's nice.
No need for a ton of uranium, no need for a ton of resources.
And that's a good sideline.
I mean, that's great.
That is the best part. There's no need to go and collect all that stuff. It just automatically goes, yeah, you've done it, completed, and tick, up you go. So shipyard level 5, which is fantastic. Weapons lab up to level 12.
That's the kicker for people because they take so long to do and they can't build while they're doing it. So people put it off, and then they end up getting a fleet that they can't fit with it and have to pull it back. So I'm really liking this because I know it doesn't affect, those of us that have kept up, but those that are just starting or those that have fallen behind. And there are quite a few people that have come back just recently who are also playing catch up as well. So I props to Kix on this one. I think this is a great TLC, and I like to see it, repeated and maybe go up in levels as they repeat it in the future.
Yeah, and someone else will just pick that up as well. Even if you don't need this 3-day defense platform token, that's a specific token and something unusual we don't normally have. So you might want to go and just snag that token and stack it away, because normally the generic structure build tokens don't normally say defense. So if it definitely is, I mean, we haven't seen this come out yet because it doesn't come out till tomorrow. So, but if it actually says defense build token and only defense, then it'll be a token that you can stack away and probably lock it ready for the next OP update, rather than just doing the 7 days or the stacking away the stuff on top using your base parts. So structure tokens times 2 you can take the 1 day ones, but and sometimes obviously there's 7 day ones as well, but normally they're fixed to a set thing, whereas that looks like a generic 3-day defense platform build token, which is quite an unusual thing to see. But hey, so there we go. Base race TLC. Garrison. It's all about Garrison this week, isn't it? Apart from that one there, which I don't think you want to be using anything other than Scorpions. Has anybody else done that one there with anything other than the Manticores? Sorry.
I think if it's the same one as it was last time, you could use Skyfires with like 1 Manticore or a mixed fleet and Phoenixes to bypass the countermeasures, but it was tough. Yeah,
I mean, I use my Phoenixes in the little sort of video that I did, but that's because obviously I'd already put stingers on them, and then they are very quick as well, so they up the engine as well. But yeah, Skyfires don't stand a chance. There's so much countermeasure. You're in a right mess, aren't you? In no time at all. So,
but it's also an option to.
Well,
say again, mate.
The Phoenixes, they were doing really well on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, you can, if you don't have a full Skyfire fleet, and we all know that the last level is always you got to get it done, in 20 seconds or less in order to finish it. Use your Phoenixes and/or combination of your Skyfires on the lower levels of those campaigns, and save your Manticores for the final levels. Don't take your Manties all the way in from beginning to finish. So that way, it might actually get you to complete it on time.
Yeah, very good and sound advice. Okie dokie. Right. So here's a good talking point. So I haven't done, because I was chatted to the admins here, and I didn't want to copy down a wall of text because we do have a wall of text, but it's not very pretty, you know. So I've basically shrunk down what Wrong Thinker. Sorry, I'm just clicking through pages here. So Wrong Thinker put up a nice post, but the problem is it's sort of like goes on a little bit. And I was like, yeah, that's a lot. So we've sort of all read it. And so I thought what we'd do is just obviously bring up the slides and then talk about the key points. So that was what he's basically said. So he's content information, it's coming out again. So they've given us an update, probably because we're thinking, shouldn't something be happening by now? And he's sort of like saying, well, hang on, I can't sort of give you what I thought you wanted straight away because it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I think that's the way I've looked at it anyway. But what they have looked at is obviously he's got 5 sort of information sort of bullet points, and then he's put some information below each one of them. And I have to say the forum post is quite good to read, you know, and sometimes they get a bit salty, but that's actually quite a good forum post this time. And some players have really picked out key elements from his paragraphs that he's put in, and they've asked some real taxing questions, and I like it. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with some of the players. They've really gone to town in a very sensible way and picked out key points and concerns. You know, like, you know, it's not just the people that spend the most or are the best at PvP. You know, some people don't spend hardly anything, but they're very good at it. They just can't afford to spend a fortune. So. And some people that spend a fortune, you know, if they don't get their own way, they just rage quit, and then they come back again, and then they rage quit, and they come back again. You know, you can't please all the people all the time. So, but then again, there are some really, really good players out there that spend a fortune, and because they spend a fortune, they are very good. It's, you know, they're at all levels at all different prices. So anyway, but so yeah, so he said we basically made extremely good progress on getting these pieces of PvP in your hands. I read that as, you know, basically they stopped PvE, that raid stopped, didn't it? We had another one which was PvP content only, and they basically forced out in a very quick succession the remaining parts, which should happen in the final bit, this bounty, of all the rest of the PvP related tech, which seemed to drag at the start of the year, that has now been sort of like thrown down our throats. Does that sound sort of fair? Ren, thoughts? Robin, anybody?
Yeah, that pretty well sums it up.
I think a lot of people are just calling this content overload. To be fair, whenever, and I'm not sure I endorse this whole approach of rock, paper, scissors, laser, Spock, because it makes everything very complicated, right? But whenever they design things with that approach, you have to release all the pieces as soon as possible. Otherwise, I think Wrong Thinker used that analogy, and it's bang on. I mean, otherwise you're going to be playing a game of chess with just half the pieces.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. It's not interesting. You know.
Yep.
So
yeah.
I think next time, whenever they move on to tier 8, and if they still take that approach, you know what? Just dump all the pieces in there over a couple months, and then keep limit access, maybe make people choose which holes they want first, and next month they get another one, whatever, but put the pieces out there. You know. Yeah,
it is. It has been interesting, I must admit. I do think the slow run out at the start of the year, because they had to keep adjusting things, and you know, I think it has really, we're in that phase now, aren't we? Definitely. I mean, I always said, you know, why can't you release it in blocks? Release it in 3 blocks over 3 months. You know, and just go bang, bang, bang. That's it. And you just get the whole content pack, and then, you know, you get both sides of the fence, and then bang. So we've got the 6 different groups of, you know, damage and fleet types, and you just do it in three sets, and wham, that's it. You got the whole lot, and it's all out in the first 3 months, and you get the rest of the year to mess around with it. You know, I don't see what's wrong with that. Apart from the fact that obviously it doesn't make them as much money because we've already got it all. But if we've got it all, and particularly if it's PvP based, then we have the rest of the year to fight each other and play with it and come up with some really cracking stuff. And then they can drip feed little tiny tweaks, you know. It's like giving you half of your stuff to do your raid, but they don't finish the rest of it for the rest of the year. It's just freaking frustrating. But anyway, that's me whinging as ever. Right, so there we go. So the content is out in our hands, or it will be after this next bounty. So what do we got next? So what did he say?
I still feel like it's missing a piece of armor.
At least one, yeah.
Yeah.
Level one
See.
was not well. Yeah, I mean, where's the corrosive? Where's the concussive?
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
and level
COCT
2.
armor, you know, something like that.
Yeah, it's unless it is coming, you know, because we haven't seen the list yet. Unless it is coming in this bounty, though, maybe another one, level 2. But you know, most of the, I mean, missile ships are now a waste of time. You know, the you know, ballistic ships are a waste of time. You know, it's just you can you know, if you haven't got, you know, one certain PvP ship, basically you're screwed. So. But hey, let's wait and see what comes. Right, so content rebalance is probably about 6 to 8 weeks away. So we've got a sort of timeline. However, he did say that if he doesn't meet the 6 to 8 weeks, he's not going to rush and let it out. He'll still carry it on and give us another update.
And just to be clear, because sometimes people read 6 to 8 weeks away, and you know, let's put dates on that. I mean, that was released yesterday. 6 weeks from today or yesterday, that's October the 30th. And that's the earliest they're saying they're going to release that. If it's 8 weeks away, then now we're talking mid-November.
That's another 2 bounties, yeah.
November 13. Just to put things in perspective, by November 13, we're going to have had 2 skirmish raids. We're going to have had this bounty and another bounty in October, and it's going to be just right about to have a 3rd bounty in November. Just to put things in perspective, that's how far down the road they're talking about releasing that. And you know what? I'm all for a quality, I'm all release, and for them getting it right. Are they going to? I don't know. You know, we'll just have to wait and see, right? And deal with a kind of broken, bad, complex PvP experience between now and then.
It is interesting if it is going to be, I mean, look, we're not going to put a timeline on it because we can't put timelines on them, but if we do break into that late piece of November, you know, then we go into the first week of December, and that's obviously boom, 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 3 events time, and then we should be in there obviously to the whole store raid and that sort of stuff again, and moving on to another group in the PvE, which is long builds and really concerning and that sort of stuff. Yeah. If Refactory comes out and it's all good and it resets itself, God forbid in December they go and do an OP upgrade. I mean, that shouldn't now come until the following year.
Yeah, and I just hope, I mean, in the 6 to 8 weeks, I just hope it's more towards the 6-week mark and October 30th, because if they wait 8 weeks, that's November 13th, and then 2 days later, there's a bounty.
I just really hope there's a huge event that comes out with a stack of PvP, you know, generic ship tokens, so people can just go, yeah, thanks very much. I'll go and get my 20.
But more than that, I will need time to digest it. I mean, they can't deploy a major PvP refactor release on November 13th and run a bounty on the 15th.
Yep,
you know
and they keep up the communication. And Ren, you just touched on it, and Mark, the thing that concerns me is that, okay, wham, bam, whoo, okay, here's all this new bounty. We've done all of this wonderful fun stuff. And I know it's going to take a long time to do this. I mean, they're busting into things that have been out for a long time and making changes and all the other stuff. But there does need to be time for the players to react, because if you're taking away over damage and stuff like that, that's a whole lot of build time that's gone in where people have built specific fleets to do specific things. And if all of that stuff just disappears and it's all thrown out there, people are going to get caught unawares and not be able to react, and not just in time for those that don't coin, but for those that do coin. There's a lot of money and time involved in that.
Well, there's a lot of questions as well, because they're taking away like the over damage. They're taking away some of the damage groups that have come in over the last 12 months as well. Is that just from the ships? You know, there have been questions asked, you know, where in the game is it coming from? Is it across the whole spectrum of the game? Is it just certain aspects? You know, and how's it? And as you said, there's going to be a period of soak that's required, for like the pages like us and Hefe and that sort of stuff, to try and make sense of it, so we can deliver, you know, in layman's terms as the players, you know, like to have it delivered, you know, and so we understand it. So we're actually talking with, you know, in confidence, you know, that we can give out a quality product and help the players, but and not obviously, you know, lead people down the garden path and all of a sudden have to bring them back again. Oh no, we were wrong, and that sort of stuff. So, you know, yeah, I totally agree with you, Ren. You know, putting out a very, very careful, you know, and maybe miss one out. I don't know, but you know, really cautious about having the refactor come out and then all of a sudden going straight into a bounty, because otherwise it's going to be carnage, you know. Base as well, and yeah, I know they've gone away from generic build tokens, but if they're doing such a massive change after so many years, and particularly last 18 months of, oh well, definitely 24 months, in fact, of charging down this certain path, then they need to, once they've made a decision, the second effect is, now how are we going to let the players adapt to this? It's not what we're doing, it's how we adapt to it. Because if you don't let us adapt to it, it's either done very, very quickly or it's done slowly for everybody over a set period of time. Otherwise, it's going to be carnage.
I was just going to say, Slice and Dice from chat is asking, you know, when they roll out the refactor, are we going to have to refit our ships? I'm going to quote something Ron Thinker said a few weeks ago when he first talked about the refactor, that they were aiming to rebalance the content and change the content in a way where most builds would work as they are and stay effective. But of course, they cannot cover every single corner case and weird build and niche build, but they were trying to cover most of them, meaning they'll try to reduce the need for refits. But I know PvP is very creative. Thanks God, still a part of the game where you can be creative, you know, and I'm certain there will be a certain need for refits, and that's why everyone here at TFC has been advocating for lots of tokens whenever they roll that out.
I mean, conceptually, it's great. I agree with you. You know, conceptually, it's nice, and you shouldn't have to. But let's be honest, we've had a ship that's come out recently. No one's built it because it you know, it's the wrong type of damage type, because the wrong armors are there, and we can't utilize the ship. You know, people are looking at, you know, witch doctors as their saving grace in some bases and that sort of stuff, but still not getting into all bases. You know, no one's looking at their. I mean, when was the last time a missile cruiser touched your base? It doesn't. So no one's refitting them. So to say that, you know, and if they do give out some more armors, to say that there's going to be no refits, that's not true. There would be no refits if we were constantly recycling our ships and that sort of stuff, you know. But most people have paused, and they've also paused in base defense as well, because they're waiting now. They don't want to waste their time.
No point. I mean, there's really no point refitting a missile cruiser or a slut, or, you know, right now. I mean, at most you're going to play with Ifrits and WDs. That's it. Maybe the Revenant. I don't know if there's good Revenant builds out there. I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen them on the map, period.
Yeah, no, I get you, mate. Anyway, so there you go. It's 6 to 8 weeks away, okay, and there are some serious changes coming, and how they're going to deal with that, I'll be interested, but it's going to need a soak period to digest it all anyway. What have we got next then? And there we go. So we're moving over damage, like we said, and damage resistances from PvP. Yeah. Now, is that, as I said, right across the whole thing? It's got to be, surely.
This is the one piece that scares the living lights out of me. I mean, over damage, good riddance, right? And now the question is, if they put the over damage to make sure the weapons were more effective, because there was no freaking way in hell that the ship-mounted weapons could do any real damage, right? So if they remove that, does it mean they're gonna increase pass-through by a whole lot? Or does it mean they're going to raise their damage so it gets over deflection? But that's the easy part. I mean, the part that scares the crap out of me is like, let's remove resistances from all of the entire PvP experience. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, don't know, mate. You know,
because think about it, right? I mean, we
it's in so many places.
Turret specials,
yeah,
for ages that give percentage resistance. All of those little overlay tactical modules we put on our buildings, they give percentage resistance. Portals, percentage, man, I mean,
it's everywhere, isn't it?
And here's the other problem. If you have a special that gives you like alloy XM, 45% explosive, 45% missile. 45% is 45%. They can release a tier 8, a tier 9, 45% is 45% of whatever new damage number they come up with. The moment they remove all resistances, either everything becomes raw damage versus raw armor, or they're going to start they'll change all those specials to become deflection. That means now they're all going to have an extremely short shelf life, because the deflection that's good today, it's useless when the new tier comes out. Just as we saw, anything giving you deflection tier 6 became completely useless when tier 7 came out.
Hence, the reason I recycled all my ships.
It's going to be a whole new set of components for us to be updating and earning and winning every year again, because now, you know, my base specials and overlays and everything are tied to a flat deflection number. So I really wanted this to be more clarified. And the final big question, is turret resistance going to be removed?
Yeah, that's the bit that's bugging me, because then we're not just doing ships, then we've got to completely rethink about our bases as well.
Yeah, that's a special every freaking one uses on every single Conqueror ship hitting bases.
And that's what I'm saying. Going into Bounty then, if they've then done the refactor, and all of a sudden they've done the scrub of the bases and they're putting them in there, it's all going to be all messed up. Because the scrub bases will have it, and then we won't have it, and then it's just going to be, what?
Yeah, the base scrubbing is not a problem, because they kind of scrub near real time. I mean, they pick the list of players from last month's bounty, but the copying of the base happens near live.
Yeah.
So as you know, I've seen, and other players confirm that, like, oh, I started bounty this way, and I saw a replica of my base, and then I changed my base, and I saw a replica with the updates I had made.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem, but it's just this whole, let's get deflection out of the way, like, so, sorry, resistance.
Yeah, resistance. Yeah,
I don't like deflections overall. I'm much happier playing with resistances. I think it's a more long-lasting concept, you know.
And it's enduring, and it's retrofittable.
I mean, I still use D1X, D1M armor sometimes. You know, resistance is resistance. It's the percentage.
Yeah, I'm just thinking sniping as well, but anyway, not to worry. Okay, they said then they're going to rebalance. Well, they're going to try and make battles, including prep. I thought was interesting. Last no more than 5 minutes. Getting the joy, you know, of PvP back into the game. To be honest, apart from using a crew and then a sneaky rocket at the end, it's always been 5 minutes. So I don't quite understand what they're on about there. But yeah, so they're going to balance anyway. So what they're going to, I think that hopefully what he's just saying is, whatever we're doing, we're not going to mess around with the base hit times. It's going to stay as it was. I mean, there is quite a bit of a blurb after that in the main, link, which I've put up above. But it's just, we're balancing for a 5 minute battles anyway. So they're not going to change it. It should still stick to 5 minutes, and obviously add your bits on and do a sneaky rocket and add another 30 seconds as well. But
well, maybe they're trying to get it to players not being able to build a base that can be timed out on.
Yeah, well, that's their own fault, because in Bounty, you can stack up your OP to being flipping, going and straight away all of a sudden then you're stuffed, because it's got 75% boost on top of it. You can get in there and in 3 minutes smash away on the OP and nothing dies.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? From the beginning of the game, timing out the attacker has been a valid strategy. And I read that and I get concerned, because they've been, and I use that sentence many times, they've been reducing the size of our sandbox since 2016.
In real terms.
They introduced the classes, whole class thing.
Right.
And the sandbox keeps getting smaller. And now they're saying, no, we're going to tune everything so every battle is doable within 5 minutes, including prep. No. I want to have the tools that if I want to try and time out an attacker, I want to be able to try that strategy. It's a valid strategy. You put a ton of countermeasures and portals and slow fields and this and that. Why not?
Yeah, I mean and it always used to be a really good, when people had threshers in their bases and then when the lockdown rocket came out originally, and there were so many different things that to really mess people up. Even with the good old days of DNXs and that sort of stuff and MCXs, the best way was trying to stop the people charging through, or the Mort fleets, making them time out by putting loads of antis in it, and just so they just couldn't get to you. So, I'm just I mean, it's a bit of a blasé statement, but I hope it isn't as blasé when it comes into fruition sort of stuff.
It's stuff like I chose not to have an Omega weapon on my OP, so I can load it with resistances and armor to try and time out the attackers. It's a valid strategy. Don't take that away.
Yeah, and then the fifth one, obviously, the Refactor is more about the content than just content rebalancing. They're talking about the whole thing, and that's across bounty as well, and obviously, of course, about future obviously content as well, because clearly they are desperate, I think, to get out T8. Because they've probably been working on it for a long time. It should have obviously gone on, but it hasn't. So, that is setting things back. I don't think it's a real hardship, to be honest. But because T7 didn't come out in a blaze of glory, because T6 died the very second T7 came out, as you'd expect. But with the extra tiles that were needed come the end of T6, then where do we go with T7? As you said, sandboxes are getting smaller, ranges are getting longer, and the game can only take so much. It's about screen size. It's not actually about the actual game dimensions. It's about screen size of actually someone's browser. That's how they base it. So yeah. Anyway, not to worry. Right, that's what I've got. I just put that basically in there. I mean, I suggest the links in there. And when I put the slides up as well, that hyperlink will work as a PDF. So you'll be able to click on that if you don't know how to get to the forum. That's the whole thing then. But it does go on considerably, and it probably makes you ask more questions than gives you answers, really. So it's a very generic mid-term, because we're probably about 6 weeks into this already when he first said it, 4 to 6 weeks anyway. Very much so in the sort of mid-term sort of this is where we are at, and this is why we're taking so long. So just thought it'd be worth putting it up and just having a few minutes on it. I'm sure we'll have a little chat about this on Saturday on the open mic, because I'm sure there's plenty of feedback from the players. But do have a look at the website, obviously the forum page, sorry, because there's some really good generic and specific feedback on there as well. I quite like some of it. It's really good.
I think, and you said his next show is this Friday?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So, and he did say he's going to do a Q&A session. So let's hope he does. He's not the best at staring down the barrel of the camera and that sort of stuff, but he is a very technical man. Goes off on some tangents sometimes, but actually, from the technical aspect, yeah.
You can always zoom in.
Don't me. That was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. It was a goddamn movie. I've never seen a zoom camera on a laptop before like that. It was funny. Anyway, here's Robin's section. So we're going to showcase Robin now, because she's done some cracking work this week for us.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But,
I should have been.
It
looks like it after what I did to the website last night.
Yeah,
obviously
right.
Everybody's aware the Huggies is no longer updating his site, unfortunately, which we're all sad about. We were kind of waiting to see what the final result of that was. And then Andrew has taken on some significant work stuff that he's working on. So website got a little bit out of date. So I've spent the last couple of days taking care and doing some updates. So I did want to kind of walk through a couple of things here real quick. So new homepage, you'll see some things are orange buttons, some things are white. That's because Rue has a horrible memory late at night. So that helps me keep track of what's been updated.
It's the G&T, woman.
Yes, martinis, let's get it right. But anywho, so if you see something that's in orange, that's something that's been reviewed, changes have been made and sort of cleaned up. So if you could click on under the base mark, under the explainers.
I will, 2 seconds. Hang on, let me just refresh the page, just make sure it doesn't go funny. There you go. There's a reason I did that, and only you know why.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to explain this first.
So, yep, click on explainers. So we all know that Ren does these fantastic videos. Everything from how to milk the cow all the way through to how to build computers. So he's taken the time to do this, and I know he has a channel on his webpage. I know sometimes though it's hard to keep track and find the videos. In fact, I was having a tough time last night. So this explainer page is all of his key videos that he's put together, things that we get questions for. I know Ren posted a video talking about XYZ. So all of these have been updated in here. There are still a couple more for me to add, but these are the key ones, kind of the newest ones that are out there. So that's now completely accessible from the main page. If you could pop back, Mark, and then select turrets underneath base. Select the base clinic. There we go. And then select turrets. Also in this one as well, we've updated and added in all of his recent videos that he put together of the new turrets, and then a little further down you'll see where we put his planning stuff in there. So all of this stuff is being updated. There are still a couple of videos to be added, but now you'll be able to just one stop, jump in here, and everything will be sorted the way that it should be. In addition to doing this, we also had to update the builds, and we had to figure out, well, how the heck are we going to put this in such a way that makes it easier for players but doesn't break things. So if you would select skirmish for me, Mark. So just as an example here, just pick up one of the bat ray or the razor tail. The first thing that I wanted to show people, if you click on that, how to copy the builds into Battle Pirate, the codes into Battle Pirate, it's the button at the top there. Nope, up the top. The button, there you go. Have created a new page that actually walks you through how to copy the ship codes from within our website and put them into the shipyard, and how to save those. So that's been added in there for those that don't know how to do that. And then if you'll jump back to the builds, this is where we kind of made the big change. The new stuff has been updated. I will slowly go back and do the old stuff, but now, you know, we've got two primary folks here. We've got Ren and we've got Mark. If there is a how-to video that Ren has done, that how-to video you can see will be there, and then his build codes for those will be next to it. If we don't have a how-to video, like for Mark's build, there'll be a screenshot of the actual build itself. I'll
just say quickly there. I mean, Ren and I sort of like had a real good chat about this about a year and a half ago, really. So I do sort of like the live streams, that sort of stuff, because otherwise it's like you're competing, which is darn stupid. So Ren does all the how-tos and that sort of stuff, you know, and I'll do the live sort of streams of, oh, let's go and have a look at this and see what the raid's like, and let's go and charge in this target and all that sort of stuff. So and then try and pick them apart. So really, you know, you might think it's Ren heavy, but it's not. It's done for a set reason, because that's the way we've decided to split up our teamwork and that sort of stuff. You know, Robin's doing Townley Hall type stuff, and also mostly this web page now as well, because Andrew's mega busy. So we've all got little jobs to do and that sort of stuff. And Ren makes cracking videos, so why do the same thing twice? It's daft. So yeah, yep. But that's just it basically. So mine's just going to be links and pictures basically.
Yep. So all of the builds will be put in there now. The same build will.
Just one other comment, and people will see that often. It's funny because every raid TSM and I compare our builds, and they're never the same.
No, they're not, are they?
But he's always happy with his, and I'm always happy with mine. So it's interesting because you can compare, and you can see, oh, why? Well, you know, we play slightly different, we drive slightly different.
Yeah.
And we have fun in slightly different ways within the game, and so that's why our builds rarely ever match, but both work.
Yeah, and our times get the same. Just and you're right, and that's quite interesting for this particular raid set, because this is all about what you want to pick and how do you drive, and that's exactly. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, mate. Because even our Manticore builds are completely different, and yet our end result, because we play differently, we got sort of down to the same sort of repair times.
Yeah, we get to the same productivity, like the number of targets you can kill, the same repair time, the kind of same speed killing the target. We just do things maybe slightly different, like the driving part, I don't know, but the fact is, like, our builds never match. And we never fight over it, and we never try to convince each other, but they both work.
Yep. If you could pop over to Conquerors for me, Mark.
Yeah.
Now, you know, obviously, nobody is going to share their secret source, and Conqueror builds have always been a bugaboo with people. The best thing that I can tell is if you've got an idea, post it. People will tell you if you're going to go off in the wrong tangent, but they're not going to post their, oh my God, I can kill every base in the game build. What I've done with the Conquerors, and I still have to finish some of this stuff up, if you click on like the MSC build. So again, you know, Ren has done a video. He had multiple different types, so there weren't any codes to be able to paste, because his video talked through this. You need to think about this, and if you want to think about that. So if we've got a hole where there's a video, you know, that's also been added. And then like on the Defenders, I think it was the Warden, he did like 3 or 4 different videos. So those have all been put in there. So you won't always see a video or a build for a Conqueror hull, but for those that we do have the information for, we'll go ahead and put that in. If you could hit on the homepage for me one more time, just 2 more really quick things for folks. We've always done the blog, and Ford's been phenomenal at this. I don't know if you've ever tried to go back and look for an update. it's very painful using the Kicks forum, and it's just because some posts are pinned and some posts are not. But in the center of the page now under general, I've got a button there that says weekly update. And so you can just click on that and it'll go ahead and it shows all of the updates that the Ford's got in there. So you can go back and take a look. They're all in the correct date order. Yeah, so that's Ford's doing. I just made the pretty button. So all the information is for there. And the other thing too is, because I know people are banned for forums, they can't get in it or they get lost. You know, here's your one-stop shop for that. The other thing I've done is we've also added Wayne Gilliver's turret damage calculator. That's also been added. We've updated some charts. And so there's still some things that need to be done, but we are working through it. So just would ask for people's patience. If you've got a build that you think's a U-Beauty XYZ, by all means, shoot me a message or post it on the page, tag me in it. The next step is that we're going to completely revitalize how we're doing the TLCs. So we're going to have the TLCs will be there with any and all videos that are done. And so those will be static and you'll be able to just go ahead and click on those and see all of those. So bear with us. We are updating it. If you have any suggestions, by all means do it. But please, you know, go ahead and share the website. It's kind of like the one-stop shop. We've got everybody's stuff in there. And a big thank you to Ren and Mark for the time to share their builds.
Hey, no problem. That's all right. Just quick on the Wayne's site there, he's added, because it was asked for, and he's done it very, very quickly. So this isn't the version 3, because I've still seen part of version 3. And it's going to be really, really good once he's finished it. But people asked for the 6th turret, so they can do that full comparison of all different damage types. So now you've got it. He's added another column as well. So it makes it a little bit smaller on the page, but he's giving you that now, so you can go right through all different ones, because a lot of people were having to cancel them and then put in another one, that sort of stuff. So that's a good update there. But yeah, so we're getting there. So if it's orange, like you said, you know, it's have a little dig around, and if there's things that are missing, we'll try and catch up the TLCs, because Derpy's really, really good at doing the videos and the low-level stuff and the mid-level stuff for the TLCs. He's excellent. So we'll probably put up a lot of his sort of stuff, and then we can get as much of the player stuff in as well, because I like player content. It's really, really good. So yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. If you've got a good way of doing things, and things that have been updated, you know, auto hotkey was pretty decent, but now there's other ways of controlling your ships, so it's a bit out of date. And some of the beginners part's still good, but to be honest, I wish Kixie would update the game so that, like, one of the beginners things is you go straight away and get icebreakers, and then you go straight away and get in, you know, Skyfires, and then you go straight away and get something else, and then you can actually play the game. So, but yeah, they may do that one day, or maybe never. I don't know. Right, good. I think we're done, unless you've got anything else you want to chat about. Is there anything you want to cover, guys? As done, as far as I think. Daniel, you've been very, very quiet.
As I stated, I would be.
Yes, I know, mate. Sorry, buddy.
You guys actually covered a lot of the stuff that I was going to bring up, so there's no point to repeat it.
Okay, I'm hoping that's sort of, and please, if you wouldn't mind, not saying PM Brew personally, but on the page, if you want, you know, we can put a header on for them and sell the website a little bit. But you know, if you want certain things in there, you think, why isn't that on there? And we'll look at it, and if it's feasible, we'll do it. And if it's something that the page hits, you know, take, then we'll Ren's having one of those moments. Okay, if it takes and if it's interesting, we'll pick up on that sort of stuff. But you know, if it's really niche and it's something that just one person wants, then clearly we're not going to invest too much time in doing it just for one person.
Yeah, just PM Rue.
But PM Rue, yeah, because she likes friends, so you know.
Or tag me, and you know, if you're doing that, and thank you to those that do the videos, and not just Derpy. There's a lot of players that do it. By all means, tag me when you post the TLC video on the page, and we'll get those in the TLCs updated. Because you know, a lot of people don't realize it, but the hits on these are in the thousands and hundreds of thousands when stuff is all said and done. So even though you may finish the TLC or you've already done it, in 2 months' time when they rerun it, somebody's like, I knew there was a video for it. So keep posting them, tag me in them. We appreciate your help. You know, it wouldn't be there if it weren't for all of the players, and it's there for other players.
It is. It's a players based, you know, we sort of start, but I mean, especially the TLC videos, you go into that link to the TLCs, and there's videos there from loads of different players, you know, and I like looking on YouTube and then clicking from one player to a next player and that sort of stuff. It's really, really good. So yep. I like particularly the TLC content from the player base, you know, and are we in a position yet where we are not putting any pressure on you, Robin, but are we in a position where we can start getting people's builds?
Yes, actually, I'm going to open that up here probably by the end of the week. I'm also going to troll the page and pull some of them. There is the ability to where you can submit your own build, and we'll go ahead and pull those in. So now that we know what we're doing and how we're loading the codes, we'll pull them through, and then when somebody submits it, obviously we'll take a look at it, because we don't want to see the Huggies build where somebody puts in a Leviathan with 3 thuds on it. So, but there are a couple of folks that do some really good builds, so happy to have those, and so we'll get that added back in as soon as we can as well.
I mean, we don't do duplicates. That's pointless. It's just making up, because obviously web pages cost money to run, that sort of stuff, and it takes time to update it. But if you've gone down a completely new avenue that we've not thought about, and you've shown a video like Ren does and that sort of stuff, and you explain your build. What I don't like specifically is, look at me, I'm a hero. I've just splatted this base, or I've just done this target, and you don't show how the build. Waste of time for us. Doesn't help the community, that sort of stuff. It just shows it. Oh, it can be done. Great, thanks for that. You won't get it uploaded. As simple as that. So if you're not helping other people, then just go down your own avenue and do your own thing. Cool. Right, we're on the hour. Excellent. Ren, anything you want to close off with?
Just that I am really, really, really looking forward for clarification on the whole we're going to remove resistance from PvP piece.
Ooh, yeah. Robin.
Yep.
Anything from you?
I'm sorry. No, I was perusing, and I actually kind of like what Joshua just posted on the side. Known bugs, not necessarily as, oh my God, the game's going down for 2 hours tonight for updates, but a little tab where the XYZ, or like the hyper splash isn't working right now. Maybe a little thing. That's a pretty good idea. I might take a look at that.
Which we all knew, and then nobody would admit.
Yeah.
Like base hit replays. 1 minute it works, next minute it doesn't. Just doesn't get in. Yeah. But anyway.
I will also put the Discord link out there as well. As Ford mentioned, there is a Discord channel out there. There's multiple areas. I mean, there's the obligatory off-topic bacon joke channel, but there is bug reports. There's also player guides, which I'm really happy to see, because there's a lot of people that are actually posting stuff. The one on the website's like yonks out of date. So I'm happy to see people putting content towards that. We may end up moving some of that over to the website as well, but we'll go ahead and add the Discord links as well.
Okay, and just closing on those that think that I talk fast and Robin talks fast, then when you watch it back on YouTube, you can actually run it at half speed, and then you might be able to understand us.
I know some people struggle. I'm slow.
Yeah, but you're converting it into English and then speaking, so that's fine. But for us,
I don't know. Am I?
We just go off on like chain guns. So yeah. Anyway, right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm sure once Bounty starts off, which is going to be another slog of PvE basically, but we'll have a good show on Saturday night, because I want to speak to a few people about what they think about Ron Thinker's sort of statement. So that'll be the crux of it, I think, to be honest, for the sort of the open mic at the weekend, the live version. So enjoy yourselves, and like I said, hit Rue up literally on the page. Tag her, that sort of stuff. And if you've got an idea for the web page or a build and that sort of stuff, like I said, we'll look at it. Not going to guarantee it's going to get on there, but we'll look at it. But I really do like links to TLCs and that sort of stuff. So there are a few good ones out this week. It'd be nice to see some good people doing co-op as well. That'd be nice to see. Thanks, guys. Speak to you later. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night.